I was cut off completely by my whole family after a false claim that I had been intimate with my cousin's bride-to-be. Now, at last, the real facts have surfaced. How did my existence even turn into this nightmare? Honestly, I still struggle to process it all. My relatives rejected me. Close friends abandoned me, and I was even barred from my go-to local bar. I promise I did nothing to bring this on myself. Alright, let me begin by presenting myself again. I'm Alex, and this is the nightmare tale that kicked off roughly 3 months back. I felt privileged to serve as a groomsman for my cousin, Ethan, who was set to marry Chloe. Chloe had been among my dearest companions since we were little kids splashing around in backyard sprinklers. The big day finally came, and I was occupied guiding attendees to their assigned spots. Things seemed ordinary until Ethan burst into the area, pulling along a bunch of groomsmen and others behind him, everyone appearing furious. Ethan fixed his eyes on me and snarled, "Alex!" Before I could even stutter a response, wham! A fist connected right with my jaw, followed by wham, wham. A flurry of blows, you guys. He was shouting as he swung. "How could you betray me like this? I know it all." The groomsmen eventually stepped in, dragging him off me at last. I was completely stunned, my thoughts spinning wildly, unable to grasp a thing. What was happening? What had I supposedly done? They quickly escorted me from the space, leaving me flooded with confusion. The next destination was the emergency room. My lip had ballooned, blood streamed from my nose, and my left eye was turning dark purple. The physician treated my injuries and inquired if I wished to file charges. But my only concern was understanding why Ethan had snapped. Then my father sent a message. "Wedding canceled. You have until tonight to remove your things from the house." What the hell? I hadn't resided with my parents for several months, though I still stored some items there. This message felt like another gut punch, and I raced over to their place seeking answers. As I stepped inside, my parents and brothers and sisters glared at me like I was some kind of offender. That's when it hit me. I was being charged with having an affair with Chloe, Ethan's fiancée. What? I was floored. I denied it right away, but nobody paid attention. My brother hurled a packed bag of my possessions at my feet and shoved me toward the door. "Leave. Never come back." I was utterly bewildered, clueless about the source or the reason. I tried reaching Ethan for clarification, but he'd already blocked my number. Dialing any family member led to screams or immediate hang-ups. Eventually, I chose to ring Chloe. The first conversation was chaotic. We both shouted accusations, but once we cooled off, we realized we were victims of the same setup, though we had no clue who started it or why. To prevent escalating the mess, we decided against meeting face-to-face and instead exchanged texts and emails to piece the puzzle together. No matter our efforts, we ran into brick walls. The whole circle believed we were secretly involved, yet when we demanded evidence, they went silent. When I finally got through to Ethan, he demanded proof that I hadn't been with Chloe. I was speechless. My relatives severed all ties. Old friends distanced themselves, and even my beloved coffee spots and pubs turned me away. It turned out Ethan had influence everywhere and wasn't shy about wielding it. After Ethan left their shared place, her relatives ditched her too, and her social circle vanished. Worse still, her colleagues made her workplace unbearable. I couldn't take it anymore, so I informed Chloe I was escaping this hopeless town. She concurred, and we resolved to part ways and rebuild in separate locations. Flash forward 5 years, Throwback Thursday style. // It's now been half a decade since I shared a meaningful exchange with my family. 5 years since my cousin Ethan's near-wedding disaster. Back then, I faced claims of being intimate with Chloe, his intended bride. Those charges were entirely invented, but who bothered to check? Ethan assaulted me publicly, the ceremony fell apart, and my whole family shunned me. Initially, I pleaded to prove my innocence, urging them to trust me, but eventually I saw it was futile, so I abandoned everything and relocated far away. Chloe endured the identical ordeal. Her relatives swallowed the fabrications and rejected her, prompting her to relocate and restart in another state. The endless rumors and judgment wore me down, so I severed connections with everyone from my previous chapter, save for Chloe. She alone truly comprehended my suffering. We stayed connected via social platforms and sporadic calls. Nothing more. For the last 3 years, I've shared my life with Olivia, a wonderful partner. I shared the full saga involving Chloe and myself with her, every agonizing piece. Remarkably, though they've never met in person, Olivia and Chloe hit it off splendidly. They bond over their shared passion for the Hunger Games series. Every couple of weeks, they join a video call, enjoying wine and treats, discussing novels and everyday matters. It's heartwarming. Olivia and I received an invitation to Chloe's upcoming wedding next month, marking the first time I'll see her after 5 years apart. I have my own exciting intentions. I'm planning to propose to Olivia, though not during the wedding or even on that journey. I refuse to steal the spotlight from Chloe's special moment, but the idea of building a future with Olivia feels more certain each day. So why am I sharing this now? Because just last week, an unexpected twist shook me deeply. A figure from my history resurfaced. Update. That afternoon, Olivia was handling work remotely. She does this often lately, avoiding the awful commute. Her position offers flexibility. Mine does not. Olivia reached out around midday. She usually messages during my shifts, so her call felt alarming. Her tone trembled as she described the events. After grabbing lunch at our preferred shawarma spot, she came back to discover a note attached to our front door. We must speak. I'll return this evening. No signature, but she figured it was meant for me since my name was visible on the mailbox. Olivia panicked from the cryptic message, securing every lock and remaining indoors all day. When she informed me, I requested early dismissal from my job and sped home. We stayed alert late into the night, anticipating the visitor, and though I felt it unnecessary, I stayed quiet as Olivia fetched a baseball bat and set it beside the sofa. She was visibly anxious, and I avoided adding stress. Yet nobody appeared, and the hours passed quietly. The following 2 days brought no further notes or surprises, just an eerie calm. Then, on the third evening, the doorbell sounded, and I answered to find a weary man on the porch, appearing sleep-deprived and carrying a faint scent of liquor. "Hey, Alex," he said, his voice rough yet recognizable. Been a while. A chill ran through me the moment he spoke. Standing there was Ethan. Truthfully, I had no desire to welcome him inside. Our final interaction nearly ended with him throwing a glass at me, so his sudden arrival didn't inspire hospitality. This was our initial exchange. "Ethan, mind if I come in?" Me, "No, that's not happening." Ethan, "All right, that's understandable. I came to say sorry. I understand the reality now. Me. Apology noted. Farewell. I started closing the door, but he persisted. "Ethan, hold on. Won't you hear my side?" Me, "Not particularly. An explanation might have helped years ago, before everyone I loved deserted me. What's the point now? Ethan. Fair enough. But I still want to apologize to Chloe. Could you share her details? My reply, I could, but I won't. Ethan. Please, Alex. I only want to make amends with her. I'll pass along that you're trying to reach out. If she's interested, she'll respond herself, but stay away from her. That was it for me, so I shut the door firmly and walked off. From the other side, I heard him call out, "Unblock your mom? She misses you and wants to connect." I ignored it. Instead, I headed to the living room where Olivia waited. I recounted the encounter, and we concurred that notifying Chloe was priority one. If anyone deserved warning about Ethan's return, it was her. On the call, Chloe reacted with shock and firmly stated she wanted no contact info shared with Ethan, which I confirmed I'd honor. It took several days to decide on handling my mother. At last, I removed her block and sent a brief text. Heard you wish to communicate? Moments later, my phone rang with her incoming call. I let it go to voicemail and replied via text. Text only, no voice calls. She responded swiftly. Mom, we heard you met with Ethan. Please come home. Me. I am home. Mom, you know what we mean. We want to say sorry and bring you back into the fold. Me. Apology accepted. I'll remain here. Mom, we simply want to fix things. Me. I'll consider it. Goodbye. It may have come across cold, but being discarded like trash by loved ones alters you profoundly. Currently, I'm unprepared for my past to disrupt the existence I've built. Olivia, Chloe, her partner, and I all align on this. For now, the status quo holds. We've chosen to leave history behind. We'll revisit after Chloe's wedding, but maintaining distance seems wisest presently. Wedding memories. The truth revealed. Chloe's ceremony was beautiful. A celebration brimming with happiness and affection that she richly earned after her hardships. Following deep discussions, I opted to visit my hometown for a family confrontation. It wasn't a simple choice, but I sensed the need for closure on this episode. I arranged for Chloe's parents and Ethan to be present. I also spotted a recognizable bridesmaid seated by herself, appearing uncomfortable and isolated. I couldn't place her importance until the gathering later. Upon arrival, my mother lunged for an embrace, but I politely halted her and maintained space. Before words could flow, I pulled out my phone, activated speaker mode, and slipped it into my pocket. Chloe's listening in, I announced. She's hearing every word, mic off. If she wants input, she'll unmute. If she's done, she'll hang up her call entirely. Chloe's dad scowled. Why isn't she here in person? I met his gaze steadily and replied, because she told me recently she feels unsafe recalling 5 years ago. Can you fault her? Ethan didn't only strike me that day. He hit Chloe too, without letting her explain or respond. At that, Ethan's complexion drained, and uneasy whispers filled the space. Soon, they started recounting the developments. 2 years post-scandal, Ethan wed Megan, that same bridesmaid from the wedding. Their union was troubled immediately, filled with frequent disputes. In one heated argument around 6 months prior, Megan let slip that she'd orchestrated the destruction of Chloe's engagement with Ethan, tired of hearing complaints about it in their marriage. Megan confessed she'd informed Ethan of an affair between Chloe and me. She pretended to have witnessed it, offered no proof, and fabricated everything to separate them. When Ethan shared this with the family, They accepted it unquestioningly. They figured he wouldn't sabotage his own event without cause, and they trusted Megan's account blindly. No one paused to consult me or Chloe, or allow us to respond or prove otherwise. With the facts exposed, they sought forgiveness, reconciliation, and reintegration into their world. I paused, absorbing their words, then addressed Megan directly. To clarify, you desired Ethan so intensely that you ruined Chloe's future to eliminate her. You constructed your short-lived joy on deception, on stabbing trusted people in the back. Was I merely an unintended casualty? How does it sit with you, knowing your gains stemmed from others' suffering? Then I turned to Ethan. We were raised side by side, man. Chloe, you, and I were like siblings long before any engagement. Yet rather than confronting us privately, you swallowed her lies and shattered our worlds. How were you capable of that? Lastly, I spoke to Chloe's folks and mine. I'll ask both sides the same. You raised us. I thought you knew our true natures. But at the first allegation, you skipped any reasonable dialogue. You presumed guilt without granting a fair hearing. You deemed us unworthy of defense and cast us out. How were you able to do that? Silence enveloped the room. They remained quiet. After a prolonged hush, I proceeded. I now clearly see my place with you all. 5 years back, you demonstrated I wasn't worth the effort. No outreach, no discussion. You defined my role, but it's not among you. I can't decide for Chloe. She'll choose her path forward. If she forgives, she'll reach out. But don't count on it. For myself, I'm through. I'm heading back to my real home, the one I forged after your rejection. While I'm glad to finally understand the events, this entire tragedy was preventable if anyone present had applied basic reasoning back then. I stood, exited, reblocked their contacts, and checked in with Chloe to confirm she caught everything vital. We both agreed this marked the final boundary, and we'd avoid further involvement with those parties. The following dawn, as I left town behind, a weight lifted with true resolution. This visit would be my last. My tomorrow awaited with Olivia. I had the ring ready, and the moment arrived to pop the question. Engagement dreams, a fresh start, and that's how my journey flipped to a brighter chapter. Despite the agony and losses, I discovered genuine fulfillment. I realized family isn't solely blood ties, but those who cherish and embrace you without conditions. I learned that truth prevails eventually, however delayed. And I discovered that regardless of life's blows, you can rise and craft an improved reality. //